my God! I'm Cameron, this is Carsideration, and today we have a 2018 Tesla Model 3 Stealth Performance. So as usual, I'm gonna run over a few stats, gonna do a quick exterior walk around, and then we're gonna take this Model 3 for a drive. So quick stats on this Stealth Performance Model 3. This is a 2018, so it has a 75 kilowatt battery. It's all-wheel drive, dual motor, does 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds with a top speed of 162 miles an hour, and this has a range of 300 miles. So I am by no means a Tesla nerd. So when I saw this Model 3, I just thought it was a normal Model 3. If you just look at it, you're like, okay, that's a normal Model 3. There's no 20-inch wheels, there's no red calipers, there's no spoiler on the back, which all those three generally indicate that it is a Model 3 Performance. But this is the Stealth Performance, so this is the Performance, but it doesn't have any of those other three features. Everyone's gonna think you're just in a normal Model 3, but you're not. You're actually in a Performance Model 3 with none of the flashy benefits, if you want to say, or accessories that the normal performance comes with. It's kind of like an off-menu, off-spec version that Tesla came out with. So quick exterior walk around in the Model 3. One thing I like about Teslas is that kind of what you see is what you get. There's not a lot going on the exterior of it. There are plenty of cameras though, so I will highlight those real quick. Camera here on either side. Obviously walking around to the rear. Camera right here. And then coming to the front, you have 3 cameras right there and 1 camera inside. The other cool thing is all the lights on Teslas are LEDs, so no cheap halogens or anything like that. And the other thing I never knew is if you order the Aero wheels are just a cover. Let's walk around to this side. Lighting might be a touch better. So if you have the Aero wheels, these are the wheels that are underneath. The Aero is essentially just a hubcap that goes over it, which is kind of cool. I never knew that. You know, for the longest time, whenever I see Model 3s, if you go to Tesla's website, the Model 3s look really good. And I see a few Model 3s, I don't know if they're just base Model 3s, but when I see them in person, sometimes I'm not impressed with their design. This one, however, this one does look like the website. It does look sleek, it does look like a mini Model S, and where I think the mini Model S comes into play is on the rear wheel arches. That's where it really reminds me of a Model S, but the front doesn't so much. Still not used to seeing vehicles with no grille. That still blows my mind, kind of like the Mustang Mach-E. And if you watch my Mach-E video, I am pretty excited to drive this car to see how it compares. So if you've never been in the back of an electric vehicle, one thing you'll notice is there is no transmission tunnel, obviously. So that is kind of odd and something that I never noticed until I literally just jumped in the back here. I did a Mustang Mach-E review. If you haven't watched that, go check that one out. I'll link it up here. But I forgot to cover that, and it's one of those things that you jump into the back of an electric vehicle and you're like, oh, that's really nice and convenient. And with this Model 3, at least, you even have a little room to put your feet out in front of you, so you're not taking up all your passengers' room back here like this. So getting into the Model 3, I thought these door handles were gonna pop out like the Model S, but they don't. You just push here, kind of like a GTR. They open up. Door is very light. I like the suede in here too. And I love how the interior is just kind of basic. Get that modern feel. And pretty much all you have in here is your 15-inch infotainment system, which is really nice. And when you want to get out of your Model 3, simply hit this button here. Door pops open. You're good to go. So I'm not going to go in depth into the infotainment system here because that would be like a 40-minute video. There's so much information, Easter eggs in here, and there's plenty of other videos on YouTube that cover those. But I just want to do a driving reaction because I've never driven a Tesla, and if you're like me, maybe you're interested in one. But one thing I like on the little graphic here is if you turn the wheel, it turns on the graphic as well. It's kind of cool. But just to show that this is a dual motor Performance, that is right there, and then it also has track mode. If you go here, let's hit it one more time, you go to driving, scroll down, if it will scroll, oh, track mode's right here. And let's hit track mode. There you go. So this is a Performance. So this is Ricky, this is the owner of this Model 3, and he is a certified Tesla nerd. I am not, so he'll be able to answer a lot more questions because I have lots of questions, I feel like.
Absolutely.
I want to punch it, but I'm gonna wait a second. I'm gonna drive it like normal. I feel like every time I get in an electric car, I'm like, just want to rip it.
Just instant torque.
Yeah. Okay, so the regen braking.
And you've got your little lights, showing your brake lights there too.
Oh, that's cool.
So.
If I had another GoPro set up, I would show you this infotainment screen the whole time, but that is really cool. So do the brake lights come on under regen braking?
They do, absolutely.
Okay.
And we've got a cop over here.
Yep, not hitting it now. I just saw that cop. That's his favorite spot to sit, by the way. These tires, these aren't the OE tires, these are your summer tires, right?
Correct.
Okay, so what I'm noticing compared to the Mustang Mach-E is just a little more road noise, but I know that's going to be attributed more to the tires because these don't have the styrofoam or foam on the inside.
Right.
But that's the only thing I'm noticing right now. It feels good. I feel like it's a fair comparison to the Mustang Mach-E as far as being an electric vehicle, roughly the same dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it already feels a little more sportier,
yep.
a little more refined. Interior quality, just trying to think back, I did like the Mustang Mach-E a lot, but these seats are a lot more comfortable.
Oh yeah.
You said that it's, what is it, vegan leather?
It is vegan leather. So if you put your foot on the brake there,
yep,
let off, you're in hold right now.
Okay.
So you can just kind of hover right over the accelerator pedal.
Oh, okay. Then you can floor it, like right now?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you get a Civic revving at you at the stoplight?
Yeah, and you get that a lot, unfortunately.
Do you really?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I love how these cameras are picking up the vehicles. Like it just picked up the fact that that's a truck.
Right.
It picks up that that was a truck. And let's see, that shows a van, that was a van. It's crazy, it's not just like a little holographic of a vehicle, it's like the actual vehicle, like it picks up if it has a bed or not, or if it's large or small.
Also does semis as well.
Does it do, it pulls up semis? That's awesome.
Yep.
Right.
So this one does not have the enhanced autopilot feature. When I took delivery of the car, we actually opted to not go with autopilot. So I actually recently purchased it in July of 20.
And how much was it, did it go down in price since you originally bought this in 2018?
I had to jump all over it. So it was a $2,000 option, which my
in 2020?
Correct.
Was it like $5,000 when you first bought it, or something like that?
It was a $5,000 option. Now, on the 21 models, they come standard with autopilot.
Okay.
So that's one of the changes that Tesla's done, and it just seems like they're always changing pricing. I don't know if that's just due to the software with the vehicle, but yeah, it just it's definitely something that I'm glad that we purchased, because we've taken this car on a couple of long trips, and really as you're taking those long trips, it takes a lot of fatigue off of you using autopilot.
Right, I could imagine.
Awesome.
And now Tesla has over 25,000 superchargers. I think that's the biggest thing that, and I think everyone recognizes that as far as being another vehicle manufacturer and trying to compete with Tesla, their supercharging network is just far superior than anybody else's.
Absolutely. I mean, they've got most of North America completely covered.
Yep, on the major highways too, and it's cool when you go on their website, you can literally just see where all the superchargers are.
Yep.
And I feel like nobody has ever had any issues with the superchargers, especially now that we're how many years into Tesla. And I read some people online having some issues with like the Mustang Mach-E charging network and things like that, because it's all a third-party network.
Right.
Which, I mean, I understand, but I think that's the biggest factor to me when I think about purchasing an electric vehicle. Like, I really want a Model Y, and the charging station is the biggest factor in my mind.
Absolutely.
And
that's definitely the selling point for Tesla.
Whenever I go to Tesla's website just to look at stuff, like I noticed on their website now, they have a 353 mile range with the extended range all-wheel drive, which is significant. This is 312 if you put the Aero wheels on it, or the Aero hubcaps.
Right.
So if you don't know what the Aero hubcaps are, like I said in the video, they're Aero wheel, like this is the wheel designed underneath that cover, but if you put the cover on, it increases your efficiency on your battery by like 4%, which equates to like 12 miles or so.
Right.
So let's do a 30 to 60,
Sure.
like a little highway race, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's probably the roughest road to do this on too, but oh my God! Holy shit!
So it was 30 to 70.
That was like 30 to 70 like that.
Right.
All right, let's try a 50 to 70.
Oh, yeah.
It can't be as violent, right? Oh, no, it's still pretty violent. Holy crap. You have everything set in sport mode, because what's the point of having everything in comfort mode?
Right.
But even in sport mode, like this is probably one of the roughest roads that I drive when I take vehicles out in this area. And it's still feeling really nice and composed. It's not getting upset over bumps or anything. Even like the small bumps sometimes upset the steering, but this thing, I feel like electric vehicles are so heavy, they just push through everything. Like this road is rough.
Oh yeah.
And I don't feel anything in my butt hardly. I feel a little bit in the steering wheel, which is fine.
Yep, too much, and you've got a very low center of gravity on this car. All the weight sits down low.
That was 30 miles an hour at a 90.
Right.
No tire squeal, no nothing.
Wait.
Okay, so let's not do anything stupid, but let's do 10 and 2. Generally there's never any cops around here. Knock on wood, there's wood in here. Alright, twisty turny section. I wish we lived in the mountains, but this is all we got.
The good old fields of Michigan.
Yeah. Oh my God, it just hugs. That's it. It's like nothing. That was not exciting at all. Which I guess would be a good thing. That's what you want. You don't want a car that's all over the place, but it's just like, okay, if you were my rally co-driver, this corner would be like a right 3. It's like 35 miles an hour is the suggested speed limit. Let's go an undisclosed a mile an hour and just see how it feels.
When in Mexico, right?
When in Mexico. We are now in Mexico at 60, 65. I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
Just saw that, I was like, I think I might nick that one.
That's all good.
But even then, it was like...
It soaked it up.
Soaked it up just fine.
Right.
Now we're going to find out you have a bent wheel. Let's turn around this way and go back. Ooh, that steering is very heavy. Whoa. I don't know if I like the heavy steering when I'm going slow. Holy crap, but that again can be adjusted.
Right. So once you get that steering wheel icon, that means that Autopilot is available.
Okay.
And then you can double down on the stock.
And then do it
And
again.
then it'll engage it. Yep.
Okay.
And then if you want to hit 55, it'll take us to 55 miles an hour now.
That's awesome. And then I can just sit here and cruise.
Right.
So I'd imagine, like you said, on long road trips, it saves you a lot of energy.
It really does.
Fatigue. It's just...
One of the nice things, I still like to keep my hand just rested on the steering wheel, but one of the nice things is you're able to look, left, right, out further, on your drive. It just really, you're more aware of your surroundings when you have Autopilot engaged.
So this car is going probably 45, so it should pick up on it with its radar in a second.
Right. So see, we're slowing down. We're going to match that person's speed in front of us.
Yep, they're going 45. So this has cameras, obviously, all around it.
Right.
Has radar as well?
It does.
Okay. When I was on the road last week working, I parked by a Model 3, I think. I'm just used to walking close to vehicles. Like I just, you don't think anything of it until you walk by a Tesla and it all of a sudden chimes and you can hear it kick on its cameras and stuff and you're like, oh.
Yep.
I did it 3 or 4 times, so I had to leave the hotel a few times, and I was just like, oh yeah, I forgot they do that. Because like any other car, just you'd walk by it, nothing's gonna happen. But with the Model 3, every time I walked by, that thing would click on, and I'm like, I'm being watched.
Yep. It's always.
I'm sure it's a pretty big theft deterrent.
It is. Yeah, it definitely is. And you can, and it records everything too. So we've got a USB drive that we have just down here in the compartment, and anytime someone walks by or one of the cameras senses that someone's too close to the car, it records, and you can actually go on the screen and view the video. That's
cool. And what we were talking about earlier, you can set up in your infotainment system to honk, and it will record with the front-facing camera. Correct. Or is it all cameras?
So it will do all cameras.
So it kind of takes away the purpose of having a dash cam. You already have a built-in dash cam.
Right. So if we do this too, you get 3 cameras while you're driving as well.
Awesome, to check your blind spot.
Right.
Jesus Christ! There it is. Stop. Go.
It's very roller coaster.
I was just about to say that. It is so much like a roller coaster because you actually, there's probably some decent G-forces. Like if you turn on track mode, would it tell you how many G's we push? Or is that only lateral G's?
No, it'll tell you. We'll have to completely stop the car, put it in park. Go ahead and
I can do this quick. Driving, track mode. Okay.
There's your G.
Okay. Let's see how many we can get.
Yeah, we're definitely over 1.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, no, that is like when I was in the passenger seat with my butt dyno, I was like, I feel like I'm on a roller coaster. Like, what's your favorite thing, and what's the one thing or a few things you don't like about it? Or is there anything you don't like about it? It's gotta be something.
I would say that the biggest disadvantage is if you
punch it again.
No, go ahead. I would say the biggest disadvantage so fast is, well, I shouldn't say disadvantage, but really what makes the experience of owning an electric car better is having a home charging station.
Do you have a home charging station?
I do.
Do you have like just a standard two, like if you get a Tesla and you don't have a home charging network, but you could install like a 240 volt outlet from like a dryer in your garage.
Right.
Couldn't you do that? And that kind of acts as the same?
It does. So that's essentially what I've got right now.
Okay.
And I've got an actual, there's some third-party charging stations that you can purchase out there, but I've got one that's specific from Tesla.
Okay.
And you get about 37 miles of range.
Overnight?
Per hour.
On a 240. What about on like a 12 volt?
So like on a 110 outlet?
Oh yeah, 110.
So like a 110 outlet.
I'm terrible with electric stuff.
No, you're good. I'm not an electrical engineer by any means, but no, you typically get about 5 miles of range per hour if you're using a 110. So
okay.
50, 60 miles overnight if you're charging for 12 hours.
And if you're just daily driving, that's probably more than enough.
It is.
I'm gonna punch it again.
It's addicting.
It is. You have to like hold the I can feel like I have to like hold the blood in my head like I'm a fighter pilot, just like So what would you say your favorite thing is then?
Definitely just the performance aspect.
Yeah.
Jumping into an internal combustible vehicle, I mean, it's so different. Like it just feels much less fatiguing. You don't have the rattles and shakes from the engine, transmission. There's no noise. It's just, I don't know. It's just an all-around different experience. We're almost at 60,000 miles on this car.
Really? Okay, so you guys drive it.
Drive it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no, after 60,000 miles, you don't have any rattles or creaks or anything like that.
Yeah. Try using your steering wheel and brake to play. Okay. Whoa, why am I going backwards? Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. This just looks like an N64. I suck at this game. So, what's this?
So if you hit like the scroll buttons, you have like little superpower things.
Oh, okay.
Should have told you that.
So I need like 2 hands to definitely play this.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome though. So we just typed in Tampa. Let's say we want to drive to Tampa right now. Mm-hmm. And you said that we'll get to the Indianapolis charger at 16% battery. We'll be there for 20 minutes to charge.
Right.
In order to get to our Louisville charging station. Be there 30 minutes to Cookeville, Tennessee, be there for 45 minutes, Marietta for 40 minutes, Tipton for 20, Lake City for 30, and we arrive in Tampa with 12% battery.
Right.
With a total trip mileage of 1,134 miles, 19 hours, and 59 minutes. So it plans everything for you.
It does.
Just by literally typing in where you want to go in your navigation.
Yes.
That is awesome.
And when you're charging too, a lot of people think, well, you're going to be sitting at the supercharger for 20 minutes. Well, by the time you get out, use the restroom, stretch your legs, it's like the perfect amount of time. Car's almost all the way charged up. Most
supercharging stations are at, like the one in our area is like at the mall.
Right.
So if you're there during the mall hours, like you can just go walk around the mall or whatever.
Exactly. And they always, they try to keep that in consideration. So when you are stopping and supercharging, there are, coffee shops or restaurants or whatever nearby.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Well, sweet, dude. I really appreciate you letting me take this out.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, maybe if you bump up to a Model 3 or Model S Plaid,
I'll keep you in mind.
Okay. I want to see that steering wheel.
We'll get the yoke steering wheel.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Cameron, awesome.
See you guys next time.